Hey guys, Carlo Filippone here, your muscle chef, ready to talk to you about this guy, the chicken pound. What do we do with the chicken pound? We prepare grilled chicken in different flavors, 6 to be exact. If you're serious about bodybuilding and you meal prep, don't go anywhere else. This is the company for you.
When you're asleep, they're just getting started. John Romano, Dave Palumbo, After Hours.
Welcome back and Happy New Year to everyone here at After Hours. I'm sitting here today with John Romano, Gregg Valentino, and we have our special guest today, taking the place of Jimmy the Bull, Carlo Filippone.
What's up, guys?
This furthers the notion that you could only be Italian to be on this show.
That's right.
That's right. We're very discriminatory.
I don't know if you can keep up with the stories.
And have origins in New York and New Jersey.
That's right. That's right.
Best chef right there. Look.
All the way back to the old company.
Yeah.
You can try to come on the show if you're from other places, but you'll probably be ostracized like poor Sammy Gannon was, right?
Wait, I got to say one thing, though. Carlo is the only one of us guys who actually can speak fluent Italian. We're all bleached skinnies.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Carlo can speak.
I thought you speak Italian.
What?
Don't you speak Italian, John?
I used to, but since I learned Spanish.
No. We all know a little bit, but not like Carlo. Carlo's mother and father, I've met that they speak, it's Italian, bro.
Yeah, I speak the Sicilian dialect, which is where we're from. And then, it's funny, I went to Sicily as an adult. I used to go as a child all the time, so I spoke the dialect at home. And I think, I know Italian, right? Yeah. And I go to Sicily and I go to Palermo to do some shopping. And there's these pretty girls in every store. Yeah. And they're, can I help you? And they're speaking real Italian, and I'm speaking dialect. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So as soon as I get back on a plane, I go up to our community college in Paramus in Jersey. I'm like, sign me up for Italian 1 and 2.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I went and learned how to speak fluently and right now. And
is it that different?
But I was 20-something years old.
Oh, huge difference.
Is it that different, the dialect?
Difference. Oh, yeah.
Big difference.
My mother's Sicilian. She used to talk to her mother on the phone. I couldn't figure out 3 words they were saying.
And on that note, that's kind of why the other day I reached out to Dave. I'm like, Dave, listen, you guys are talking about food, sauce, gravy. Where the fuck does gravy come from? Gravy's not an Italian word. No. Gravy is a word that comes from a French derivative. Italians don't call it gravy. In an attempt to become partly American, Americans called sauce gravy on Sundays because they threw meat in it. So Italian Americans started calling it gravy. It's sauce in my house.
Right. You know why, though? You know why? Honestly, the truth is because, like John and I, the reason why we called it gravy, and I think, Dave, didn't you say your father called it gravy?
My grandmother called it gravy. That's all they ever heard was get the gravy.
You know why? That's because we came in here years ago. It's just like listening to Italian music. My friend's from Italy. If you say to him, like, femmina, they sit there and they go, holy shit, what the fuck? That's not it. That's like an Italian guy coming here, right, to America and saying, listen, I could sing American song. Watch. Oh, Susanna, why don't you cry for me? You'd be sitting there going, what? That's because the Italians that came here in the 1920s. We never evolved. Our families taught us the Italian from back then, and they called it gravy because they didn't know what the fuck. Like he said, they did throw meat in the gravy. But I'm saying
they wanted to be a part of it. So they called it gravy because that's what they did. It's the same thing as the Italians who came in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s.
That's what I'm talking about.
They want their kids to speak Italian because they were discriminated against.
Right.
And they was bad and they wanted them to speak English. My parents came over in the late 60s, early 70s. They were a little different. You're going to speak Italian, sauces, salsa. Okay, so
my father wasn't allowed to speak Italian in the house. That's why he never learned it. His father would smack him if he talked Italian.
They were so discriminated against that they said, only speak English and we don't want you to speak Italian.
I wish everyone else in this country would do that.
Right? So today, and I don't want to get overly political, but they talk about all the nonsense on how we discriminate against everybody. Italians got treated like shit. There were signs on every New York storefront saying, no Italians need apply. This is a true story.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
and they were treated like shit, called guineas. Guinea's not a good word. I mean, we throw it around like the black people throw around their N-word. But when you were called a guinea, it was a put down. They called you a guinea. You weren't. That's not a good thing. Guinea pig, right? So it wasn't a guinea because you were a class act. They called you a guinea because they thought you were a cafone, in Italian.
We say it amongst each others, though. I say it all the time. You guinea bastard.
Yeah,
whatever.
I know, because I was always taught that. My father taught me that when somebody calls you a guinea, you punch him in the face.
Yeah, I never got away with that. I would never speak that word.
But to other Italian guys, though,
I never even called you. When have you ever heard me use that word? Never, ever.
You know who used to use that word all the time? Derek Anthony. That was his favorite word.
Derek.
I miss Derek. He was a good boy.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, I know you saw the interview with Johnny Russo on Patrick David Bet, right? Or Bet David, how you say his last name. When he interviewed Johnny Russo, he said the big reason The Godfather made it is because the powers that be said you can't throw around the word guinea and you can't make Italians look bad because that's what they're doing to us to begin with. Right. And we want a movie that doesn't portray us in a negative light. I mean, killing people was okay, I guess. Yeah. But you can't call each other guineas.
They had a code. Everyone has their own code, right? I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I wanted to get John, especially his response. Someone wrote me on Facebook saying, you Americans, I was grouped in, now I'm an American. You Americans, what you did to Iran, it will come back and bite you in the ass and and how terrible. I said, look, I didn't give the order to kill anyone. I don't know what you're telling me for, But what do you think about this whole, Iranian, backlash on I guess whoever
long overdue. Is what I'm going to say. Long overdue. This guy fucking killed 600 Americans. He has the blood of 600 Americans on his hands. He should have been taken out 2 administrations ago when we had the opportunity. But instead, look, Trump, like him or hate him, he is in Washington and he's swinging a fucking axe, all right? And so all of this political bullshit, he's not interested in. He's interested in keeping his promises, keeping America safe, and doing the right thing. The right thing is annihilating that freaking Iranian
dude, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Nobody fucking bitched and said Obama's going to start a war when he killed Osama bin Laden.
That's right. That's right. And Obama had more drone strikes against civilians, some civilians and military leaders. Nobody's bitching about his drone attacks. We take out the worst freaking terrorist general in the history of Iran, and the liberals are fucking crying over his grave. It's disgusting. I'm a veteran. Okay, I speak for all the other veterans out there, many of whom left body parts and buddies on the battlefield out there fighting. For any stupid fucking liberal to come and say to leave any kind of remorse or condolence for this fucking scumbag should be taken out back and shot right along with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's my friend put a great quote. I put it on my Instagram about terrorism. Charlie Gasparino is a Fox Business News a guy, and he even said, "Man, if you're going to start if we're going to start worrying about killing terrorists, then maybe we can just concede to terrorism." You know what I'm saying? Because the fucking left is so fucking. They were looking for fucking the slightest little thing. I saw them actually saying, "Oh shit, Eric Trump posted the day that thing about when they stormed the embassy, right? The Iranians they stormed the embassy. Eric Trump said, "Oh, watch, now heads are gonna roll." They're saying, "Oh shit, maybe Donald Trump can talk to his son about this shit." See, who is his son that he should be confiding in? It's so they're looking for things. That's what it boils down to. I mean, if he cured cancer, they would say, "You know what? Fucking Donald Trump cured cancer. Now he's putting doctors out of fucking business." What a piece of shit.
It can be summed up like this. If Donald Trump walked on water, literally walked on the water, the fucking liberals would say, "Look, he can't fucking swim."
You're right.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
Let's move on to a more happy topic. Our mutual friend Bob Bonham, who owned Strong and Shapely Gym for I think like almost 35 years, right? He's finally sold the gym.
40 years. Right? Yep.
Now, Carlo, you had a restaurant a couple blocks from that gym. I remember that's when we used to go to your restaurant, when we would go to Bob's Gym to train back in the 90s.
It was actually a few towns over. It wasn't right across the street, but it wasn't far. But you know,
I thought it was
Shapley,
close. I thought it was a couple. For some reason in my head, I have it that it was close to there. I don't know why.
Nah, well, because you're from Long Island and everything is so far away.
Guess. Maybe.
That a few towns seems like it's right there, maybe.
Wasn't there hold on? Wasn't there a restaurant near Bob's Gym that everyone would go to? I thought it was Carlo's.
No, Carlos was different.
I was close to the bridge.
Away.
Yeah,
Maybe someone drove me there and I wasn't paying attention then. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to. Let me tell you something. This kid could cook, bro.
I
You
know.
guys out there, no fucking.
I know. I
shit.
love the food.
Carlo can make some Italian food. I've been there with Ronnie Coleman and watched him make Ronnie Coleman freaking a lot of food. He can cook. This guy can cook. Let me tell you.
What did Ronnie eat at your restaurant again, Carlo? When he went?
Everybody. I mean, Ronnie ate there. Victor used to come in all the time. We're not really friends now, but he used to come in and eat. With Adela Garcia. In one night, we had Ronnie in, Jenny Lynn in. She was the figure Olympia at the time. The fitness Olympia was Adela. She was in at the same time. Kim Scheidler, if you rememb, Greg used to smell her ass all the time.
I love it. Her ass smelled so good, better than your Italian food. No offense.
Greg, you probably made Kim Klein the most popular person of all time. You used to write about her in your column all the time.
Dude, she was so fucking cute, and that ass on her was so good. And dude, you know what's fucking funny? There's a classic case of a guy who was married to her wife. Rob was a great guy, but he used to push her, and he pushed her a little bit too much towards guys, and he lost out on that one. I got to tell you, because she had an ass like a 10-year-old boy, bro. Let me tell you something. It was tight and small, and you know what I'm saying? But I've been there.
So just to be clear, you would prefer the 10-year-old boy.
I prefer Kim Klein, but let me tell you something. That ass was like that's from the movie True Lies. But let me tell you, I was at Carlo's restaurant. He was even the day that Victor got out of jail. We were all there. You know what I'm saying? We're celebrating. And Alti Batista, Ronnie Coleman. I think one night I saw Carlo made Ronnie. Ronnie was eating spaghetti and everything. Then he had rice. He had like chicken, steak. He had everything. Carlo made him everything.
Yeah, there were a couple of times he came in that he was like way off season and just gotten back from Europe, and sometimes he'd stop in New York, I guess, hang out with Alti for a few days. And those were the days where he wasn't having his, filet mignon and warm cheesecake at the end. Like he always had cheesecake at the end of every meal. But yeah, I mean, there were days where he was like mountains of rice, and he was like, "Any pasta?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got pasta, of course."
Ronnie would always have 2 entrees no matter what restaurant he went into.
Did.
So
I
always
swear to God, I saw it. Carlo made him. He had that.
I thought that he was taking one home with
this.
him, but he would actually eat 2 entrees at every meal.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere he went. We went to the Outback one time, the one down in Edgewater, close to where our gym was, where I trained. And when he was in town, he would train there was a Workout World where I started my cafe, where I started the meal prep business. Yeah. So he would come in there, train there, and then we would go get something to eat. Outback, same thing. He'd order 2 of the biggest steaks on the menu, 2 ice, and 2 pieces of cheesecake at the end. It was.
Oh yeah, he was.
It was amazing.
And barbecue sauce.
Tons of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
I was there. Firsthand. As a matter of fact, I took some pictures, and Carlos behind me make it like. You don't even remember that. You photobombed me.
Yeah.
Carlo, what was the gym that you remember you had done something I remember it was like upstate or something. It was like in Jersey, but it was like up.
Yeah, River.
What was that place?
Yeah, that was so I rented the basement of a gym of a plastic surgeon's office.
Right.
That's when I was training my clients. So I was doing.
I love that place. Whatever happened to that gig you had going?
I'll tell you. So I partnered up at the time. Not partnered up. I mean, I started the business, but I had an ex-girlfriend who was in the industry who you met at that event, Dave. So that was my one and only girlfriend in the industry because I learned a very valuable lesson very quickly. Yeah. But I was we had started a personal training, and at that time, Dave, I was training at my peak. I had 68 clients in 1 year.
I remember,
so I was training clients. I was transitioning between my food company with my former partners. and getting into business for myself. So in the interim, while we were working out our separation agreement, I started training people, and in a matter of a year, I had 68 clients.
Wow.
So what I did is I rented that facility, and we did some personal training, and I let all the trainers use the gym.
Right.
And that's where I took all my appointments. It was right before everybody started doing all the online stuff and all that. So most of my clients were in person, and that's what I used that facility for.
I couldn't believe he had 100 girls there that were like clients of his. He was like the mayor there, you know.
Yeah, well, I trained. I think of the 68 clients, 50 of them were probably women.
At least
I trained.
it had to be, yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck, dude. Let me tell you, I seen him, and he got the young, good-looking girls.
No, it was they were all
Carlo
beautiful.
used to get them, and they were all. I used to go there, and I'd be like, wow, you know.
And they loved
They
Carlo.
were young.
They loved
Pretty,
Carlo.
I guess. I don't know.
What? So,
and
Greg,
I turned 5 people pro in a matter of 2 years. A lot of people don't know that little fun fact when I was coaching people.
Yeah.
And I had to make a decision on whether to continue to train people or get back into the food business. And I couldn't leave the food business. I said, I can't do this. This is where my heart is. I've been here for so long.
Yeah.
So I went away from the coaching and the training and said, just get back into the food. I couldn't do both because it was just impossible to do both at a high level.
I got to tell you, I just had, I ran out of food in my refrigerator, and I went into my freezer, and sure enough, I got the chicken pound. Carlo's got this great company. You buy chicken by the pound. It's the greatest idea of all time. And I'm telling you, it wasn't even defrosted. It was rock solid. I smashed it in half because I wanted to break the piece off of it, and I threw it in a frying pan with some mac oil, just let it defrost, essentially, and I ate it. It was exquisite. It was moist. It was flavorful, and the thing had to be sitting in there. When was the last time you sent me that package? About 3 months ago?
Oh, yeah.
It was like you made it for me fresh. That's how good this chicken was.
That's awesome.
Because you got it vacuum sealed so well that it doesn't get freezer burned. You can keep it forever in your freezer.
Yeah, I've worked on that project for a couple of years now. I think we finally perfected it.
I have a lot of my clients who buy your chicken pounds up because everyone loves it because no one cares about making some rice, some vegetables. They can do that, eat some nuts. They want the protein cooked for them. So it's a brilliant idea that you sell just the chicken by the pound.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so far so good.
I've never seen anyone do it. You're the first person I've seen actually just sell chicken. You know, it's so simple, but it's so easy.
It's not easy to do. You know, it's everybody gets so fixated with the meal prep, and the meal prep companies. There's 1,000 of those, and I mean, I still have my other meal prep company, and we do okay with it. But you know, the chicken business is the one that's really taken off because everybody, as you said, loves it. You take your chicken, throw it in, you steam your rice, you throw in your salad, you do all that stuff, and there's no headaches to it.
Yeah.
And plus, you're getting your hands so fucking dirty with the chicken and all that stuff. When you get it, you clean it, and then after you cook it, it loses so much weight. You know, it's frustrating for people. So I think people have caught on to, you know, the idea and how smart it is. So thank you for.
I think you should do a version of instead of the chicken pound, maybe you can call it like the salmon tank or something like that, or just do salmon. That's it. I'd take that all day long, man.
I have an idea I'm working on for beef, but it's not perfected yet. Once it's perfected, you guys will be the first to know.
No,
You should write like, here's the beef. That's what you should call it.
Yeah, there you go. Greg could be your. You could have that picture of Greg with that piece of meat hanging out of his mouth from Fast, Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Greg, so why did Bonham sell the gym?
What happened?
Why did Bob Bonham sell the gym?
He just sold it.
I know he did. Why?
Oh, well, because he lives in Florida and he's going to be 70 years old. So he's just doesn't want, he doesn't want the gym, like it's time, it's time. It's his time.
Is he sad?
No, actually, he's kind of relieved because, he's all the way in Florida.
Yeah.
And the gym's in, Lance Calfe was supposed to take it over. You remember Lance?
Yeah, I remember Lance. Yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to take it over, but
fell through.
Yeah, the deal fell through, and some other guy, I don't know the guy's name, but he got it. And
did he make a few bucks on the gym?
Yeah, he did. He didn't do. I don't know the exact number, but I know he made more than he thought he was going to make. That's what he told him.
Good.
I mean, he's pretty much done with everything, because his age and where he's just, he's living now. He just wants to live his life. He's in Florida down.
Does he have enough to retire on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's smart. Well, he's not like me. I'm stupid. I can't fucking save a fucking penny and shit like that, you know? But he's smart. By the way, thank you, Dave. Santa came and gave me a little something.
Did you get, oh, by the way, did you get both of those things?
I didn't get 2, I got 1.
No, I sent you 2, you dummy. I kept telling you that.
Oh, you did?
Check your email again. If you didn't get the other one, they're 2 of the same thing.
Really?
Yes, please. I made sure because I paid for it. So
maybe my girlfriend stole it. Hey, did you steal my shit from Dave?
I sent them an Amazon gift card, but I sent them 2 of them. You got to make sure you claim both of them. I'm telling you.
Did you? You sold them? You mean you sent them mine also?
Yes.
Because I didn't get
my girlfriend's
I gave you Romano's.
Like shit. No wonder why my girlfriend's walking around with new shit, you know?
I don't want Greg to go hungry over the holidays, you know.
Oh, dude, thank you, Dave. Believe me. Believe me. I needed that.
or all his hangers on.
I have no idea. Trust me.
Greg, there's a rumor that Steve Bleckman sent you a Happy New Year's text message.
He did. I'm actually, believe it or not, I get along with Steve. All our problems are bygones be bygones. He sent me a Happy New Year, and
is that all it says? What did it say? Well, read the text message.
It says,
so I want John to analyze whether he actually wrote the text message or if he had the secretary send the text message.
He wrote it to me. Wait, hold on, let me find it.
He might have written in the yellow pad first, John.
Oh, he definitely wrote it on the yellow pad first. And then he had who's working for him now? Who's the scribe now?
I think it might be Ron Harris. He might be doing everything over there.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah, I want you to print it out. I want you to print out the post. So I got to go over it. The most incredible thing.
I'm looking for it. Hold on, it's right here.
Paper, it goes online, and then it's got to come back on paper.
No, he wrote it to me. Listen. Any past beef we've had is gone. It's right there. I don't know if you guys
with
can see
his flip phone.
Flip phone. You really did have a flip phone.
Yeah, it's right there. He wrote it to me. He wrote it directly. Listen, I have no. I get along with Steve.
Frank, that phone can actually receive text messages?
What happened?
That phone can receive text messages?
Yeah, look, I got tape on the back. Oh, you're not going to believe this.
That it doubles as a beeper when he needs it. So.
Wait, hold on. Don't go away. I got to show you guys something.
I thought I was.
I guarantee you still got a beeper, John. I'll bet you money.
The burner phone is supposed to be thrown away after a while.
Yeah, I bet you in his drawer he has a beeper somewhere. I would bet $1 million on it.
That's probably what he's going to get, right?
Yeah, probably. Either that or he's going to get that poster of Ronnie when Lee Haney
because people know about my cell phone. They've been sending me. Look, I got these. Look, people have been sending me. Can you see that shit?
Are they really sending you their flip phones?
Look, look.
It's like it was stolen from my mom. My mom.
You might be able to sell those on eBay they might be classics by now.
This is
you know, like you can buy like those old like telephone, like the ones they used to have like pay phones. You can get one for your house just as like an antique that it actually works. That's going to be like Greg. He's going to be selling old cell phones,
No, but look, this is the one with the tape, right? It's the one that works. Well, I guess these work too. They actually turn on.
Why don't you switch onto one of those, Greg?
Because I'm kind of like partial, you know what I mean?
My father used to use a word processor, one of those brothers word processors. No one even knows what it is, probably, that I'm talking to right now.
Like
but it wasn't a computer.
Brain.
It was a word processor, and it worked off of a little square like disc.
Little screen, a little black and white screen.
And it was green. It was green, and the screen was this big. My father couldn't see anything, but somehow he was able to see that screen, and he would type his poetry on there. And then when you would print it out, the keys would actually move, like pop, 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 pop. It was automatic, but it was like a key striking a piece of paper, like an electric typewriter. And what happened was the thing broke that he got, and obviously no one could fix it because there were none left. So I had to go online and find people who were selling these brothers the same year he was, so that his discs would be compatible with it. Otherwise, I couldn't get all his writings, printed out. So I went and found someone who had 2 of them. I bought 2 of them, and that lasted my dad the rest of his life, those 2 word processors. He burned through one of them, and he was on the last one. And the last one, the keys were broken, because my father was a very heavy key striker. It sounded like and I do the same thing probably because of him. it's like it was like he was hitting because he used to type on a manual typewriter. And if you've ever seen an old manual typewriter, if you didn't have like 100 pounds of force between your finger, that thing wasn't striking the paper. And
you had to move, and the travel was like 4 inches. You know,
yeah, my father would type fast on that thing. Can you imagine the strength of his fingers to do that, John?
Dude, I wrote every one of my columns with one finger, like this. I only type. That's why I do all caps, because I type with one finger. But I'm like, you know.
Greg, you don't have to hold down the shift key with the other hand. You can use
with the other finger.
I use 2 fingers. That's it.
No, I use one. But you're good. I'm bad, man. I'm fucking. My father was like that. I told you. The fucking phone would ring and he would answer the remote because they're both silver. You know what I mean? He'd be like, Jesus Christ. And I'd be like, no, that's the remote.
Isn't it how we all become our fathers later in life?
That's the truth.
Thank God my father knew how to type, or I'd be typing like you guys with 2 fingers. You know?
I'm still waiting to be lucky enough to be my father.
You don't even realize it, John. You can fix and cook and do everything. Who do you think you got that from? Your father.
Oh, I got him.
Yeah. You don't even realize it. You assimilate. They assimilate you. You know, it's in your subconscious. It just, and then when you get older and you're not paying attention, it just kind of seeps out of you. You do the same expressions. You make the same hand motions. You have the same
I can't believe
ailments.
some of the bathrooms I've seen you do. You posted some shit. I was like, fucking John did this? You did a great job, bro.
He's unbelievable. He built the old RxMuscle studio.
Fucking shows. You know, the Property Brothers and shit. You know what I mean? You should be on one of those.
Everybody does that shit these days. It's no
I
big
can't
deal.
do it, bro. I can't. Me and my girlfriend tried to put up a fucking wall, couldn't do shit. I can't even put up fucking. I can't even paint. I'll throw the whole bucket on the wall and just push it around. I can't paint. I swear. I have no patience, though.
Well,
that's why.
You know what, guys? Greg, this was my idea that John and I were brainstorming. And Carla, you're going to be a major component in this. Maybe Carla could judge it, or he should be involved. I want to set up 2 or 3 teams of us Italian, bodybuilder guys, and do a cook-off. You know, like it could be like John and me. It could be like you and Jimmy. We get like Carlo and like someone else. Carlo's got to recruit another Italian. And at the Olympia or something, we do a cook-off, and then we could have like Jay Cutler like
I
judge
could cook too,
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
We could rent a house. Out there, big. We can all stay there because it's and it's much cheaper than a hotel if you're with if 4 of us rent the house.
Yeah.
Then we got the kitchen.
Yeah.
I got a pool.
We'll bring Tyler to film it.
We can some serve outside by the pool. Nice.
You started the Muscle Chef with MD. Is that? I know I'm not confused with that, right?
I started. I was the muscle. I was at ESPN. I was on Lose Wick. I was the first.
Yeah.
Carlo.
Yes.
I was the first.
I will give you the props for that. Yeah.
I opened the door for you.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you in the magazines, but I didn't realize it was called the Muscle Chef, though.
It was it was the book. I wrote a cookbook. It was called Muscle Meals because that was my segment on
American Muscle magazine.
ESPN.
Lose Wick.
Right.
That's when John had that black curly hair.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that book in the magazines for sale. I remember that, but I didn't remember it. And again, I don't give anybody props, but I got to give them to you because you are the original, my friend. So you got it. But I just want to make sure it wasn't the Muscle Chef, right?
Yeah, no, the Muscle Chef was what he called it was Muscle Meals. We called the column Muscle Meals. People would call me the Muscle Chef he was either Dickhead or Muscle Chef.
I remember all that with Lose Wick.
From Lose, So that was like 1989, right?
So I guess Kennedy followed, and because he said to me, "We're calling you the Muscle Chef at Muscle Mag," because I was with them for 9 years.
I remember you had a good column.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, for a long time I was there, and then I don't even know if you remember, but I popped over to MD for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
and that didn't work out.
He
at
probably
all.
didn't pay him. That's why he didn't last long there. Yeah.
It was just, truth be told, it was probably more on me than on Steve. I can't lie. It was probably at that time because I was going through my separation with the business, and I was going through so much stuff, and it got to the point where they locked me out of my own place, and I had no place to do videos.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad. My separation with my first food company was really nasty. We don't talk. and we don't walk on the same side of the street. Three of us.
So,
and
John, if it would be you and me on one team, and Greg and Jimmy the Bull on another team cooking, who's going to be? We got to give Carlo like a handicap a little bit because he's like a ringer, really. You know.
I think if we're making Italian food, I think that's. I think we're all, you know.
Well, who you got to give Carlo a partner? Who do we give him? Who could handicap him a little bit? You know.
Just pick some. The point is, we're gonna make something amazing.
We should give Big Lenny to him or something like that.
What we're gonna do?
Big Lenny.
Let's give him Big Lenny to be his teammate.
You know, like bros versus pros. We got to set it up like that. We need to have it. You know, people come. You know, to feed them. They're gonna eat the food and judge.
I can picture the Bull. You're burning the fucking meatballs.
We should get a celebrity panel of judges.
That's why Vegas is such a great idea. If we rent a house in Vegas, then we have, you know, we'll set it up as like a dining.
Let's get Trump's chef. He's got what's his name? Chef Rush.
Arms like this on that guy.
Yeah. I saw him at the Olympia this year. His arms were bigger than my head.
Oh yeah, I interviewed him. He'd be great. You're right. I don't know if he cooks Italian, but he probably could cook anything. That guy.
Yeah.
Look, we're Sicilian. We're almost black anyway, so it don't matter. We can have him.
I'm Napoli Don, bro.
We can have Carlo. That's Carlo's guy right there. So we get Carlo and him.
That's a ringer. How do we beat those guys? He cooks for Trump, and Carlo is a restaurant owner.
Maybe they should be. Wait a minute. Why don't they beat us?
They're the bros. Bros versus pros. There you go.
How about they beat the guys that like fucking the judges and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it would be funny. That shit would be funny. Carlos an expert.
Chef Rush.
He should tell you this is not cooked right. You know, what do you mean? Jesus Christ, it's Valentino's fault. You know what I mean? I'll be like, God, I told you. You know what I mean? I think.
I try to explain to my wife that I can cook because it's in the blood, right? If you're Italian, you can cook. You've been around it your whole life.
Able to. You were paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm the cook in this house. Fuck that. I wouldn't eat if it was them. My girlfriend puts fucking hot sauce on everything. Fucking unbelievable.
It's funny because you know what? The Italian men pretend that they can't cook because they like to be served by the Italian women. At least back in the day. But if you put them in the kitchen and tell them to cook something, they can cook.
Oh yeah.
You know why? It's because we know that if we cook, it's gonna come out right. You know what I mean? If I had my girlfriend cook, she'd be like, "Oh, I forgot to put that in there." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, fangu." You know what I mean? They can't forget about it.
Plus, the Italian men always got 10 guys who will help them do something. Yeah. You know, and then so he's got to feed them. You know. And
that's right.
They help you do something in the garage. Your wife's not going to fucking make dinner.
I'm the firstborn Italian mother off the boat. I was 3 years old. My mom put me on not a booster seat, whatever she had to get me, elevate me, because they didn't have booster seats back then. Well, but parents, not to put them down, but they probably couldn't afford one. So they put me up on something, and my mom says, "Here you go." She gave me an eggplant, put 4 slits in it, and said, one of these in every slit, and it was a piece of anchovy, a piece of Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and a sprig of. So I'm 3 years old and I'm stuffing every eggplant. I get done, my hands are all like brown. I'm looking at my hands. I'm no lie. I'm 4 years old and I'm going, what the hell just happened to my hands? I think, come on, let's go. What did it say? I'm like, oh, all right. I just made dinner for the family. I'm 4 years old.
We used to have to make the little meatballs for the lasagna because we had little hands when we were little kids. So my uncle would say, put this big bowl full of freaking meatball mix in there, and there's 5 little kids, making the little teeny tiny meatballs to go inside the lasagna.
Delicious today, people, right? How delicious are they? Because they're so saturated in wheat. My mom still to this day, she doesn't fry or bake the meatballs. She cooks them in the tomato sauce.
Oh,
so
that's
this
the
tomato,
best way.
it's insane, and the meatballs are so tender.
Yeah,
because they're cooked in the sauce.
Is that how my grandmother made them so soft? I never knew.
That's what I do. We cook them in the fucking.
I didn't know she cooked them in the sauce. That's
for like
that's
fucking 3 hours, bro.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
Flowing for like a long time. Yeah. My girlfriend, you do that with the sausages too. You eat like sausage and peppers is like some fucking state fair. The sausages are like rubber.
Yeah.
If you let the sausages cook for like 2-3 hours, it's a totally different ball game. It's like fucking
Nobody
butter.
eats sausage and peppers at any state fairs ever. The quality of that meat is so pathetic that it just doesn't even qualify as human grade food.
That's what I'm saying. It's like rubber, though. You eat them fucking. I'm like, this ain't sausage. What is that?
Hey,
See it, oh yeah.
I saw it. I saw a potted sauce with basil.
Little meatballs.
What do
There you
you,
go.
Carlo? What do you think of the food that they serve when you go to the Feast of San Gennaro there in the city?
I think it's disgusting. I think all of Little Italy, to be honest with you, is disgusting. It's a bunch of Albanians passing off food as Italians.
Really? Is that the case?
I have, yeah, absolutely. I haven't been to Little Italy probably, honest to God, in 25 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm there, but wait a minute. It's
There's
Mexicans.
still some good places in Bensonhurst and Bay Ridge in Brooklyn if you want authentic Italian food.
Arthur Avenue in the Bronx is still good.
Arthur Avenue is good. But
Also
Little
a lot
Italy's
of-
commercial. They got
Luna's up
Mexicans
there.
in the back.
Good.
Even when Jimmy the Bull and I used to go to Angelo's all the time, there was all Mexicans in the back. Okay,
Really?
thank you.
Wow. Who
Yeah,
knew?
same thing with it. Go to Umberto's
I went
Clam
to
House.
Angelo's.
It's Mexicans.
Right? I used to go to
Mexicans in
Umberto's all the
Guatemala.
time back in the late 80s. I went to Angelo's one time and I ordered a dish of veal and I wanted a side of linguine with it. And they gave me a side and you could tell they ran out of linguine and they mixed spaghetti into it. So, I
Oh
mean,
shit! My grandmother would do that.
but I go to the waiter, I go, what happened? They ran out. He goes, oh, it's the same thing. I said, it's not the same thing. He said, one's linguine, one's spaghetti. I mean, I was in my dad's restaurant. I was 9 years old cooking in there, and he's telling me that it's the same thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to argue with you, but I didn't go back after that.
Yeah, I would never want you coming into my restaurant. You're a hard guy to please, probably, because you're a restaurateur yourself. You know.
I send food back all the time. People hate eating out with me because if it's not better than I can get at home, I'm not paying for it.
My father would send the free bread back. That's what a pain in the ass he was.
I don't
He'd be
send
like, "This
stuff.
is it's Wonder Bread, Wonder Bread." He goes, "What is this crap?"
Shit.
I was at dinner with another. We were at dinner with another couple. The guy and me both ordered the same thing, a Reuben sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So the two sandwiches come. His is this freaking high. The meat is all pink. The cheese is melting down, and the sauerkraut looks like a picture out of a magazine. Mine looks like it was run over by a truck with a muddy tire.
They knew who you were.
Movie Casino.
It's brown. The fucking bread is wilted. The meat looks like liver, you know. And I'm like, how can you bring out two of the same freaking things, and one of them looked like it was, you know, ran over yesterday, and one looks like it was just made by right?
Right? Hey, John, remember the movie Casino when De Niro looks at the muffins and one has a whole bunch of blueberries and the other one had no blueberries at all? And he goes into the kitchen, he grabs a chef, he goes, I want the same amount of blueberries in every muffin. You understand me?
That's the same way.
Everyone is
Do the same thing. The food comes to the table, I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Why such a disparity?
exactly. So I send the shit back. I'm not going to eat that, you know. But it's invariably when we go out. It's probably 60 to 70% of the time. I got to send something back.
I was so embarrassed as a kid because my father was always sending shit back.
Why are you embarrassed?
I don't know. I just was. I don't know.
Same thing, Mike. Everybody's like in the seat like this.
Yeah, but if you're paying for it, you got to get it right. If I'm paying
for this, I'm gonna eat a Reuben sandwich. It looks like a shit sandwich. I mean, come on.
What about I get sandwiches, roast beef, and it's this much roast beef, and I tell them all the time, I want this much. And I don't mean, I'm talking about throughout, not like where it goes angled to the back when there's only this much in the back and this much in the front. And I tell them, take it back. No, I'm paying for it. I tell them I'll pay extra. I don't give a shit, but I gotta have that roast beef. Better be fucking fat.
Back in
all
the
wet.
day, Carnegie Delicatessen in the city had the best roast beef sandwiches. But I don't know if it's still as
Carnegie
good.
Deli.
Right?
Go to Sarge's Deli in Manhattan. You'll see my picture on the wall.
Their
Really?
corned beef
They're
was
great.
amazing. I love that shit. Pastrami.
Yep.
Carnegie, Sardi's, you're right, is good.
Try finding that shit here in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
That's
a
the
Jew is.
problem, though, bro. That's
I
the
know
problem
from
wherever you
South
go
Carolina.
anywhere. Go to California, the fucking pizza's a joke. You know what I mean? It's a fucking joke.
They don't
I
know how
went
to
to
make bread
Maryland
there. That's what the problem
to
is.
visit
Greg.
somebody, and the lady was putting ketchup on a fucking spaghetti. You know what I mean? I'm like, ketchup on spaghetti?
Well, everything's vegan now. You can't put cheese on anything anymore. Everyone's got to have a vegan this, vegan that. I mean, it's especially California's the worst with that stuff. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Oh, fuck bullshit.
God forbid there's an animal product in anything there. They have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, they
You know what, though?
become.
It's not just that though, Dave. Everybody talks about the protein in vegan, but I've said this before in my videos. They eat a lot of carbs, and a lot of sugar. You
That's
don't
why they all
realize
look terrible.
What's that?
They all look terrible because of that. There's very few vegans that have a nice physique.
They don't fucking believe. You eat all that quinoa and all that other bullshit, it's gonna fucking spike your insulin. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yeah.
It's fucking cornmeal and shit. I mean, it's the worst food, right?
A lot of the vegan meals too, you buy those frozen meals, they taste pretty good, but they're not good for you. The composition is not that great. There's a lot of like oil, like plant oils that are not good in there,
How about all the estrogen in that freaking Miracle Burger that they had? It had like 47 grams of estrogen.
Oh, really?
In the burger, yeah. And they're marketing. It's just they got this guy eating a burger with his shirt off and he's got bitch tits.
Is that the burger? Is that the Burger King one?
I thought that's Burger King.
Is that the Burger King, John?
If you buy it frozen, it's this new meat they got. It's called Miracle Meat or something like that. And it actually is red, like it actually has blood, like it looks
really?
like meat.
I have a problem with when they call almond milk. Because
there's no almonds.
Milk comes from a mammal. It comes from the breast of a mammal. There's no almond animal that's giving producing almond milk. Okay.
There's also no almonds in it either.
There isn't.
What about coconut milk? What about coconut
Well,
milk?
coconut milk is not from an animal. It's not milk. It's coconut oil or whatever.
You don't like the
coconut
word
water.
milk being put in with that, is what you're saying, right?
They're trying to brainwash people into thinking they're getting the same thing. You're not getting the same thing.
Yeah, but it's not good for. It's all bullshit anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you know what? It's all about moderation and balancing. Yeah, you shouldn't probably be eating red meat every single meal, but if you eat it once a day, if you eat a couple of chicken meals a day, you're going to be healthier. You're not going to be less healthy. Okay, so it's all this propaganda in one direction or the other. It's never the extremes. It's always in the middle somewhere.
See right here, almond milk contains no almonds.
Wow.
So not only is it not milk, it's got no almonds in it. What the fuck?
It's got guar gum.
Only Gregg Valentino, Paula Jones. It's like, what the fuck?
How dare you?
Carlo, what do you got coming up? What's going on with the business? Give me an update so that everyone knows.
Real good stuff. We were trying to get out to the Arnold, but unfortunately we ran out of time and we couldn't get ourselves out there. So we're probably going to have a booth out at the Olympia this year, just to kind of do a public launch. We didn't really do one of those. We're doing really well. I've debated back and forth, and I listen to your shows religiously, Dave. So the other day you were talking about whether it's worth having a booth over at the Arnold and the Olympia, and I wonder sometimes, but I never did it for any of my companies. So I think I'm going to give it a try and do it for the Chicken Pound, just because the visibility.
You might do well because you can give samples out and serve people chicken, and they'll fucking love it. That's a great marketing tool,
Yeah, well, we wanted to do both, not just bring samples. But we also wanted to sell it. I mean, think of all those people walking around at those venues, right?
True, that's true.
If you have a pound of chicken, for them, that they'll get 2 meals out of it. You can make $10.
It's way cheaper than going room service, that's for sure.
Right.
Room service, but what about eating food at the venue? Sucks, right?
I bet if you advertised ahead of time, telling people you're going to be out there with 100,000 pounds of chicken, no one would bring. I wouldn't bring food. I would just stop at your room and pick up a couple of pounds of your stuff.
A bunch of people who ordered for the Olympia this year, for the Arnold, and then the other shows they order as well. But I'm giving it serious consideration. I want to do it right. So obviously you've been there. So and you were there without a perishable product. I'm going to have to ship a truckload of chicken out there and hold it in a trailer. So I don't even know how to
you do it pre-order, Carlo. Have them pick it up at your booth. Have them pre-order it online, and then they pick it up at your booth. So you know how much to bring.
You need a refrigerated car or something like that.
Watch you get all the fucking vegan bodybuilders standing outside his booth with signs and shit. You know what I mean?
Is to have a couple of little saute pans out there and have everybody sample. Every hour we sample a new flavor. So they line up. You give them a taste of it, and then as they go around,
you should hire Greg to work your booth. He could cook up the food for you.
Not only that, you know what? You hire me, I'll walk around in a chicken suit. I'll tell everybody, eat me, motherfucker, eat me.
You get Mr. G chasing the chicken around.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Christ. Mr. G and his brother Bobby.
Remember him chasing the chicken around the warehouse? Were you there that day? You have that on film?
I got it on film. Definitely got it on film. I'll put it up.
Carlo. That could be Carlo's freaking.
There you go.
Intro. We got Mr. G chasing the chicken.
Actually, Mr. G in a chicken suit would probably be way better than Gregg in a chicken suit.
Oh yeah.
Well, you integrate it. You start off with Mr. G chasing the chicken, and then you got Carlo cooking, and then you got Gregg in the chicken suit out with the tray.
Then you got Bobby with a big fucking knife going, we're going to cut the chicken's head off. Bobby, see, these guys don't know. They Mr. G's brother's Bobby's fucking even crazier, right?
Well, the two of them together, yeah, you can't take more than an hour of them together.
No, I love them both, though. They're watching.
I love them. Of course, I love them.
Those stages we had, they worked 8 hours straight at the.
Oh, dude, did
it for 3 days straight.
And Arnold on the stage, and there was not one dead second for 8 hours. They were going.
We're talking about the Smalley brothers, yeah, the Smalley brothers.
Audience making them do push-ups and pull-ups and contests, ugly contests, and
Dude, what about when he got all serious with the midget and shit like that? He was doing that midget.
At the club.
He started to get all serious, smacking. He threw the fucking midget around. He was ready to start fucking throwing punches and shit, right?
That was that was
great.
One of my funniest nights of my life. Yeah, we'll talk about.
Yeah, dude,
we'll have to have Mr. G on the show, like a future show. We'll have him. Tell
I love
that whole story.
Mr. G. I love his brother Bobby and I used to go crazy. I remember his brother Bobby coming down. He was doing an interview with him. He was walking around the lobby in bare feet. You know what I'm saying?
Bare feet. He was walking around naked in the lobby. Naked.
Huh?
That was with Ben Weeder. He was walking around with no shoes on, with those yellow.
I know. I videotaped. I did the interview. I kept telling Bobby, his feet and shit. I knew Ben Weeder was a good guy.
I walked upstairs, and they were sharing a room, and out into the hall he walked with no clothes on whatsoever. He was walking down the hall completely naked.
Bobby?
Bobby.
Holy Christ.
The two of them were out of their minds. I'm telling you.
No, they were crazy, dude. Didn't he chase George with a fucking golf club and shit? He was, dude. I love it.
George chased him with a machete. I think back in the day, But,
yeah, but I think Bobby.
we'll get them on a future show. We'll get all the stories because a lot of our listeners don't know who they are. So
they have no
we have
idea.
to reintroduce them to the Smalley brothers.
We're gonna resurrect them.
Carl, good luck with the company's called thechickenpound.com. You advertise on RxMuscle all the time. I use your products. I love the chicken. Every time you send me a big tub of it, I thank the Lord that I got a nice gift that I could actually use and eat. And it's absolutely delicious, very healthy, affordable. And I'm telling you, I've never seen an order packed better than this. It comes on like ice and in a container, and it's beautifully packed. It actually looks too beautifully packed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we actually, so to that point real quick, we actually scaled down the packaging. We surveyed our clients. We sent out about 6,500 emails at the end of the year and said, do you guys want us to go green or stay the same? And I got to tell you something. I never imagined, because I'm one of these old school guys. I throw plastic in the garbage most of the time. My wife is making me change now, So we surveyed all our customers and, hey, do you want us to go green? And do away with the dish, because we used to put the 2 8-ounce packages in the dish and then rewrap the dish. And they said, yeah, get rid of the dish. It was crazy. It was like 85.
I like the dish, but I guess you're right. It's not biodegradable.
I love the way that looked.
Yeah, me too.
But when and it was funny. It was amazing. Like, we got such a response. I didn't expect everybody to respond. So my marketing rep, she goes, oh, we're gonna send out an email. I said, all right, yeah, let's do it. And when she showed me the results, I said, all these people emailed and actually filled out the survey? And he said, yeah. I said, holy shit. All right, well, let's do it.
What that dish made out of?
Styrofoam.
It was, well, the container was styrofoam, so we did out with that. We'll only have to use the styrofoam, and by then we'll have something totally recyclable. So in the summertime is when you would really use that.
It's a simple solution for these fucking tree huggers. Just send the chicken over to this house. Just send them on his, tell him to walk over there. Just send the chicken. When the chicken gets there, have him commit suicide on the chicken counter. And, Harry Carey, because he sticks the knife in and cuts.
Have Mr. G deliver it. He'll fucking walk over there. Here's your fucking chicken.
The fucking chicken will walk over there by himself. Just send him out. Just give him the address. Google map him.
Well, guys, we're running out of time. As always, we could probably talk for the next 6 hours. But Carlo, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. Check out thechickenpound.com. John, thanks as always. And Gregg, it's always fun to hang out with you for a good hour once a week. It gets me feeling jolly and happy.
Because you're not him.
That's right. No, that's not true.
Thanks, guys. Let's do that cook-off. I like that idea, Dave. Let's work on that.
Let's work on the cook-off. Yeah, we'll have to put that together for a future show. For now, though, I'm Dave Palumbo for another episode of After Hours.